Yeah. As I got another rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission. I'm on roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains, haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road. Let's camera action, I'm ready to go.
You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Good morning, and welcome to the Tom Ficklin Show. My name is Gary Tinney, and I will be your host this morning, sitting in for Tom. Today's guest, we have New Haven Scholarship Fund President, Mr. Jeff Albert, and other students and teachers throughout the city. Welcome. And again, good morning. How you doing, Mr. Albert?
Well, today doing very well, thank you. I appreciate you're asking me that. It's an honor to be here on your show and also to have Tom Ficklin host the New Haven Scholarship Fund so that, in fact, we can spread the word about the work that New Haven Scholarship has been doing for the past 60 years, helping kids in the city to be able to continue their education, to be able to go to college and hopefully and minimize the burden that they have financially. So these are good kids who deserve a shot at continuing their education and also getting themselves a career.
Well, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about, I'll give an example, last year, how successful we were as far as giving scholarships?
Well, let me just start with the past. A woman named Jean Lovell was someone who taught at Hill House High School and realized that she had kids in her classroom who actually could go to college. They had the academic ability, but they lacked the financial resources to do so. So some 62 years ago, this fund was started as a dream. She was able to raise $400 from friends and were able to contribute $400 from her own pocket. And she was able to send 4 kids to Southern Connecticut State University for a full year when tuition was a lot less than it is today. Over the course of those 62 years, we've helped about 11,000 kids with over $11 million in scholarship money. We're a board that is all volunteer, and so that's important to know that every dollar that's donated to New Haven Scholarship Fund is a dollar that goes into paying someone's tuition, their room and board, their books, but to help them to get through the process of obtaining a degree. Currently, this last year was a banner year, even though it was filled with lots of difficulty relative to COVID, and we were able to give out over $500,000 in scholarship money to 208 first-year applicants, and then another 87 applicants who were multi-year. And so we feel very good about that. It's the largest amount of money that we've given. The year before that, it was 400,000, and the year before that, it was 300. So we're seeing some positive growth in terms of donors and the ability for the New Haven community to understand the importance of what we do.
Okay. So also, President Albert, how were you introduced to the New Haven Scholarship Fund?
I was been in the city system teaching at the Sound School for over 30 years. And it wasn't until 10 years ago that I had known anything about the New Haven Scholarship Fund. And that was one of the problems that New Haven Scholarship Fund has, is that it'd been under the radar. No one really knew about it. I'm teaching in the public school. My kids are getting a scholarship. I knew nothing about it. But a gentleman named William Dyson, and most people know him as Bill Dyson, asked me, he said, I think you'd like this group of people, and I think you'd like the work that we do. And so about 10 years ago, he said, why don't you just come to one of our meetings? And that was the introduction. And I appreciated and aligned with my philosophy about life in general, is wanting to make a positive difference. And so these kids, this group of individuals who devoted their lives to making things better for kids was something that I could align with. And it's been really wonderful for me. It's been the natural evolution from teaching kids to helping kids pay for college.
Wow, that's amazing work. And how do you promote your mission, Scholarship Fund mission?
Well, that's a good question, Gary. I really appreciate you asking. By the way, Gary is also on the board, so he's part of this process. The way we do that is we have donors that we send a mailing to twice a year, a fall mailing, and actually our fall mailing is going to go out very soon. We produce a newsletter. We have a website, and it's www.newhavenScholarshipFund.org. We have a Facebook page, and I go out as much as I can to try and create an understanding of the work that the New Haven Scholarship Fund does. And I talk with principals, I talk with the superintendent, I talk with the mayor. And so at functions where we can broadcast the work that we do, I make ourselves available. So it's not enough. We just got a grant to be able to upgrade our social network platform, and hopefully we'll be able to reach out to more people. And so shows like this also help. And I've also been on Bab Rawls' show, and also Shafiq Abdusabur was allowed me to come and talk about this also, and so did Paul Bass. So we've been on the radio for a while. We do as much as we can in terms of the newspapers and social outlets, and we're growing, and we're growing in a very positive way.
Wow, I mean, that's excellent. I've followed. Actually, I was a recipient of the New Haven Scholarship Fund, and I just the work that the board and the fund is just it's phenomenal, and the folks that are on the board are phenomenal. I must say that you have a very passionate group of people that really care about the young folks and really care about their success. And I'm a proud member of the board. I just wanted to thank you for that also.
Quick question. How helpful was that scholarship to you in terms of, getting yourself a, continuing education?
Well, one thing, the scholarship, it's not just, the funds itself. It speaks to, folks that are really, it's a real challenge to pay for school. So when you're able to get, 1,500, 2,000, that makes a huge difference in a lot of lives. So, that being said, between this and other scholarship funds, folks are able to attend school and turn out to be a successful person in society. So it means a lot. One other question I had too was, so what, as far as what qualifications do you have to have? I mean, you have to be a city resident.
You definitely have to be a city resident. Hello, Renee. You definitely have to be a city resident. That's one. Two is you have to attend a New Haven public school or Eli Whitney. And you also have to be accepted into a college, university, or technical school. Other than that, I mean, you can be a BC student, and we make no exceptions. If you got accepted to college, we feel that you're qualified. And so, and they also have to have a combined income of less than $70,000 so that we make sure that the kids who get the scholarship are it.
Now, this is a continuous scholarship. I mean, it's not just for the first year.
Well, they can apply for a continuing scholarship, so it could be for all 4 years. And last year we were very successful in terms of getting more kids on board and more kids to apply for a continuing scholarship. Are we going to get Mark? Mark, are you still there? Mark, are you there anywhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Mark's coming in. He's going to chime in next. I just need him to unmute his mic. Oh, good morning, everybody. Mark. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Doing well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. First, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So my name is Mark Petoskey. I'm the proud principal of the Sound School. I've been in New Haven Public Schools as an educator for roughly 20 years. Started that journey at Beecher at the K-8 level, then moved about 4 years into Hill House, where I was there for 4 years. I was at Career for a year. Then I was at Wilbercross as the assistant principal for 9 years. And now I'm the principal of the Sound School for the last 2 years.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for your work. So again, we're here, we're talking to the president of the New Haven Scholarship Fund and a couple of his board members. And we just have a couple of questions for you pertaining to the Scholarship Fund. and how it helped some of your graduating students who benefited from the scholarship.
Sure. You know, like I said, I've been at the high school level for roughly, 15, 16 years. And during that time, I've seen hundreds of students benefit from the New Haven Scholarship Fund. And, as Jeff was saying earlier, a lot of times we have students who are completely capable of going on to secondary education, but are hindered by the financial aspect. And what I've seen over those years is the New Haven Scholarship Fund has allowed them to kind of get over that hump. Sometimes it's as little as $1,000 or $2,000 deposit that a parent can't come up with. And this allows folks to be able to do that. And the fact that they're able to apply in future years, actually, I was unaware of that. I just thought that at the time it was to just get them in, but to hear that, it's had a huge impact on our students.
Wow, that's amazing.
Two of the former graduates from the Sound School will be on in a little while. One of them who's already completed her college degree, and the other one who's still going to Southern. And so, if you get a chance, maybe you want to take a look at them. They certainly will tell a remarkable story about their journey.
Absolutely, and just to put it in perspective, I mean, Sound School alone last year had 9 students that received roughly $23,000 in scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, if you don't mind, I'd like to add is one of the pieces of this process that I think is so beneficial to our students is the interview process. So I remember when I was at Wilbur Cross, we would set up the conference room, and we'd have like 6 or 7 interviewers come in, and we'd have the kids lined up in the hallway, and they'd be in their shirts and suits and ties and, dressing for the nines and coming in, but really getting that experience of, it's not just writing an essay and hoping you get picked, right? There's that personal touch of interviewing the students, hearing their story and how it'll benefit them. And that's a life lesson that kids learn moving forward, whether it's going for a job interview or another, any kind of interview. So I just think that's a really, really good piece to this whole scholarship fund.
Thanks, Mark. I forgot to mention that. I appreciate you bringing that forward. That is a critical portion of part of what we do, is to meet those kids. And we were handicapped this year because of the fact COVID wouldn't allow us to do that, but we did virtual. Doesn't have the same impact, but meeting those kids in person is definitely a powerful thing. Thanks for bringing that forward.
Yeah, because I have to say that was one of my favorite experiences. Before the pandemic hit, was to sit down and speak to the young folks, and they talked about their life stories, and a lot of them were first-time college students and from their family, and just their life experiences and how this scholarship would help them. Yeah, I would definitely say that was one of my best experiences. Also, I'd like to introduce as another young lady on our board, Miss Evans. Good morning, Miss Evans.
Good morning. Greetings to you and all of you.
Yeah, so if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and and about the scholarship fund.
Well, I currently, initially coming into New Haven, I was a kindergarten teacher. I taught for 17 years from K to 8. I had the opportunity to finish my counseling degree, and I received my job at Hill House. So I started there in 2018. 2014, and I've been working at Hill House, and now I'm a dual position at Co-op and ESOMS. So my road has been very interesting.
Wow. So how were you introduced to the New Haven Scholarship Fund?
If I remember correct, I've had a long, Mr. Barber was a mentor of mine when I was at Southern, when I first started, in my post-secondary experience. And so he was the track coach, and I ran track with him, not well, but I did run track. And so he's been in my life for a long time. And so Sandra Clark came to me while I was at Hill House and said, Mr. Barber is looking for people to be a part of the New Haven Scholarship Fund. I'm like, oh my, Mr. Barber? Okay, I'm all on board on that. That's all she had to say. So I was brought into the group. I love the people. They're amazing individuals with big hearts, and they want for the next generation. So I'm all about that.
Yeah, that's again, I would have to agree. That's one of that's another, my first board meeting was phenomenal. I sat there and I was so taken back by not just so much of the humor, but the passion of all these educators from the city that really, really care.
Right, they do.
About our young folks, and it's pretty evident in their efforts. They're consistent. I mean, look how long the scholarship fund's been around.
They're tireless.
So, yeah. So one of the things I think, one of our challenges, though, I think, is how do we get it out there, the word out there? How do we reach some of the students that don't know about the scholarship fund, and how to, just to get the word out in the community? Anyone can.
Well, the counselors, as being one, I'm not working directly with seniors anymore, but when the information is brought to them, they scour, but we're having a little bit of a problem gathering the children to take an active interest in this. That's our problem. The information is getting out, but we're fighting a battle trying to get them on board. And that's a problem that we're having. I'm like, come on. I mean, you're begging them to come to the meeting. You're begging them to fill out the application, and we have to find a way to make them understand the importance that this is an opportunity that does not come along, often. It's very unique.
It's free money.
Right.
I just like to add too, oftentimes a student's mindset isn't really on the financial piece. And so I would say that the real push needs to be with the parents. Some of the stuff that we've done, at the high schools I've worked at, specifically Wilbur Crossing here at the Sound School, is we have an information session for all our seniors. And we invite their parents to come in, and we talk about things like FAFSA and all that. But while that's all going on, we let them know that these other opportunities are out there, and we go over them. Once parents hear free money, that's when the ball really starts to get rolling. Students, they're sometimes they're worried about what they're having for dinner later on, or something like that, or what movie they're going to go see. But so that's really been why we've been successful, both at the Sound School as across, is getting those parents in and showing them the different options for financial aid, with obviously the New Haven Scholarship Fund being one of them. And I think that's why we've gotten a lot of takers on it.
Wow. How about you, Jeff? How do you?
One of the things that we do is we inform the city, the guidance department downtown, and they spread the word to the guidance counselors. But I think that Mark has a really good perspective in terms of getting the parents on board and hosting at the individual schools. And maybe that's something that he could bring up at the principals meeting, hosting at the individual schools, an informational session for the parents. And I think, parents who are mostly going to foot the bill would like some assistance in that. And I think that's a real powerful way to go. I agree. I think Mark's got a real good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely would be something that we should move forward on, especially at our next board meetings. Talk about that and start these different initiatives. And that's one thing good about having these type of shows and talking to individuals, that we kind of can pick each other's brain and find out what's best, what's working and what's not working. And I think that's the successful path that we need to go with. So I appreciate those words.
There is an idea that Jeff has been doing. Well, we have the pamphlet and we drop them off into the different schools, so the teachers are aware.
Yeah. So at any point, do the scholarship, does anyone from the board go into the schools and speak? I know we've gone through this pandemic, and that's been a challenge in itself.
Mr. Barber and I had gone to the schools. I know that downtown at the guidance department, and I'm not sure who heads guidance now. Mark, who's head of the guidance?
Dina.
It's Dina Natalino.
And I have no familiarity with her, but
I can make the connection for you.
Okay, so that would be important, so that we could talk with her about. I know she or someone from her department is going to go into the schools and host something for the kids, but maybe we can talk to them about hosting something for the parents also, and that would be the conduit for that. That'd be really good. Yeah, another good idea, Mark. Thank you.
Well, that's what
really. Write that one down. What's her name?
It's Dina Natalino, and she's very familiar with the New Haven Scholarship Fund because
Okay.
we worked together at Cross, and she was
Okay.
one of the leads of getting all those students to apply.
Okay, and you'll help me make that connection.
We'll
Thanks.
do.
Yeah. So maybe we can come up with some type of tour at each school, and now that we have some access to the schools, we can really push to get the word out. And I know that we have, I think in about 10 minutes, we have a couple of students joining on. So we can speak a little bit about some of the ideas and some of the things we need to move forward. I know I was really interested in how to tap into, some of the radio stations here, the newspaper. We always hear about what the bad things the kids are doing. I think one of our challenges too is getting the word out about how great the young folks are doing. And I think if we could, really push that and so we can hear their voice. And I see here's Michelle. She's on. Unmute yourself, Michelle.
Hi guys.
How you doing?
Michelle.
Good. How are you?
Alrighty.
Mark is a new principal at the Sound School. I don't know if you've met him.
Connection is. Do you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. Perfect.
And Michelle,
Say that
pleasure to
again. I'm
meet you.
sorry.
Yeah.
So-
And one thing I just wanted to mention, we can't speak at the same time too, because it echoes and kicks back. So Michelle, if you can introduce yourself, we appreciate it.
Okay. Hi guys. My name is Michelle DeJesus. I'm currently a senior at Southern Connecticut State University, class of 2022. I graduated high school, the Sound School, where I'm with Jeff. I have I'm majoring in business
Uh-oh.
right
That's-
now. Enjoying every single bit.
You're
I
breaking
have
up.
a small business, breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Just once in a while.
Good. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I have a small business. I have a small business in photography. So that's definitely gave me experience in the, business world, somewhat, and definitely looking forward to expanding my business as I, after I graduate and stuff like that.
Wow. So how critical was the New Haven Scholarship Fund pertaining to your financial support?
You hear me
Michelle?
now? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going
we
in
can-
now. I'm not sure why.
Did you hear Gary's question?
No.
Yeah, why
Okay,
don't
my question was, how critical was the New Haven Scholarship Fund pertaining to your financial support?
So New Haven Scholarship Fund definitely helped me a lot. As college students, it's kind of hard because you're at the state where you have to kind of work and you have to kind of go to school and things. At the same time, we're trying to figure out how to pay for your schooling and stuff like that. And as you guys know, college is not cheap at all. So definitely with the help of New Haven Scholarship Fund, as well as, other scholarship funds that I received before because of my grades and participating in different things in school, it's definitely made my college career and, college years more easier in a sense with financial wise, where I can actually, not stress as much as to, continuing my years. I didn't have to stop at any chance. It got a little rough my sophomore, junior year with, financials and everything like that. But definitely with the help of, as I said, everybody that definitely, even with scholarships and all the financials, it definitely made my 4 years a better experience and less stressful, as I said. So I do appreciate Jeff for helping me definitely get into the program, as well as everybody else that helped me out financially throughout my 4 years.
It's
So
been our
again,
pleasure.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's been our pleasure. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. Michelle, what year did you say you were in, or you graduated already?
I'm a senior, so I graduate May 2022.
So what's next on the agenda?
As of right now, it's up in the air. I'm not too sure what I want to do. I have a whole bunch of things in mind. Obviously, with a business, major, you can do so many things. One of my actual advisors I'm on the Olas dance team at Southern as well. So the advisor for the dance team, she actually got the same exact major as me, business administration, concentration management. So it's definitely very broad. It's up in the air. Definitely had to, continue to look around on exactly what path I want to go through. But I'm somebody that needs experience in a field to see if I actually like it. So once I'm done, in May, I'm gonna start continuing to look around, and see exactly where my interest holds at.
Wow. And do you attend on one of the questions we had for you? Are you think you're going to be interested in becoming a board member of the New Haven Scouts?
Definitely. Definitely, I would love to. And kind of be able to give back to students, that were just like me, throughout college and stuff like that. So definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Wow.
Getting.
Well, I'm sure we would love to have you. We're looking for some young voices
with a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what a phenomenal story. Congratulations to your success.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you had anything to say to any of the young folks that are applying now for the scholarships, what would it be?
Okay. Definitely to not give up.
Okay.
But you got frozen.
Out of high school, to be able to make that step. Some people are not allowed. Good now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks. Thanks again.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
No
finish.
Thank you, bye.
All right. And you're welcome to stay on if you like.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate
next, I'm going to take care. Next, I'm going to introduce, we have another one of our board member who's also a coach at Wilbercross High, Kevin Walton. Kevin, if you can unmute, Kevin's currently driving also, so you can't, you're not going to see a photo of him. I don't know. Kevin? All righty.
Well, yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yeah, all right, good morning. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm off camera. Some driving headed to Sweet 16 in New York, so.
Okay. Well, we thank you for coming on and participating. We appreciate all the great work you do in the community. So we just spoke to one of our students at 10, I believe, Southern, and she's a senior. And we're just asking the few board members a few questions pertaining to the board. One of the main questions we had was, why did you join the board? And that's the first question. Why do you think you joined the board?
Well, mainly because, a couple of people asking, that was just an honor that people thought of me to serve. My whole thing is just about wanting to serve the community, and have some impact and influence. And, once I got the call from yourself and Rattel and, heard about the board and saw who the board members were, but really the important work that you're doing and supporting young people. I just thought it was a great opportunity just to serve, but also to give back, because I know how important a few dollars can help someone on their college journey. I didn't have that, unfortunately my mother and I had to kind of foot that bill, and I think we just finished paying off a student loan. But, my sons, right, my two sons both had the opportunity to receive scholarships from different community organizations, and it helped. Every little bit helps. And so just to be able to be a part of that, and the long-standing history of the scholarship fund was just thought it was a great opportunity to serve, have some impact, and have some influence.
And I was just talking a little bit about our meetings and how wonderful the educators on our board and how they interact and how they care about the young folks. You being a coach and having access to many of our youth, I'm sure that you can appreciate that. And how does this help you as far as reaching some of the young folks, specifically on the team and in the school, that aren't aware of some of these scholarship opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and I just want to shout out Jeff and for the work that he does, his leadership. But I'm just amazed at the level of dedicated educators from the people who started the fund to those who have served for like decades on the board, and it's been that important to them. But to your question, it doesn't necessarily help me. Oh, that's not true, because when I walk in and say, hey, we can help you get a scholarship, that does put you in a pretty good position. But I think it's just having the ability just to be able to say to young people, hey, listen, who will help you. All you have to do is, take the steps to get the application, fill out the application, sit through one of our boring interviews, and we're looking to support you. Like, I think the great thing about this scholarship fund is that people aren't looking for ways to exclude people from getting money. Like this past year, I was amazed that we're trying to, find ways to give money away. And so I just think for me to be able to say to young people, hey, we can steer them right here. And it's not just, it's the kids at Cross, it's the kids I'm involved with at ACES or through the fraternity, or, just the kids I know in other schools and the people that we know. So it's just a matter of like connecting to people who are connected. And I just think the more we get the information out, the more opportunity we have to, impact students' lives.
Wow. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think Mark had mentioned something earlier that if he could just speak a little bit to what some of the things they're going to do and how they're reaching some of the young folks.
Yeah, so one of the things that, as Kevin knows, coaching at Cross, and we do information sessions for our parents, especially senior year, end of junior year, and early senior year. And typically those things focus on FAFSA and how to apply for college and how to apply for financial aid. But one of the things we've done in the past, both at Cross and now here at Sound School, is have those information sessions for the parents and let them know all of the different scholarship opportunities there are. And there are some other scholarships that people are more widely known in New Haven. And a lot of folks, don't realize, that this is right up there with it and can be as beneficial. And so just letting parents understand, because they're the ones footing the bill, and sometimes students don't even know what their parents' yearly income is. So they don't even know if they're eligible. So, getting that information out to the parents and, like you said, Kevin, just making it accessible to as many of our students as possible, because as we know, we have great kids in New Haven, in my opinion, the best in the state and in the country. And we have kids who are more than capable of going on to secondary education or tech schools or whatever it is they want to do. But unfortunately, a lot of times they're hindered by the finances. So whatever we can do as a community to get them, the monies that they need and the supports they need, it's just going to make both the students and our community thrive.
Wow.
Excellent. Well said.
It's amazing. So I'm just waiting on 11:40. We have one more grad student that's going to join us. But in the meantime, Ms. Evans, do you have anything else to share?
We have a wonderful team. The purpose is on point. I'm excited about being a part, and I think that this year is going to be even better than it was last year. I'm very confident in that. And we will have more children accepted into the and receiving money from the New Haven Scholarship Fund. It's a great team.
Thank you. That's well spoken, and I hear that, and it makes me feel really good. It warms my heart to hear you feel like it's going to be a banner year. Yes. One thing I just wanted to address was the fact that we need to also communicate out to faculty and to people that we know about the New Haven Scholarship Fund, because even the smallest gift, it goes a long way. I mean, if 1,000 people gave $5, it would be $5,000. I'm not asking for large donations. And I know that there's in the city of New Haven, and I did this when I was a teacher there, that there's payroll deduction. And, if we could convince more faculty members that $5 every 2 weeks right, would be the small price to pay for us to be able to help these kids get to what we were training them for, what we're working so hard to get them to get to that next level. I think it would be, it's in my mind, a letdown, and almost an empty promise when you say, okay, we're getting you ready for college, but you can't pay for it. I'm sorry, you can't go. So I'm thinking that, getting the kids to go, getting more kids on board, talking to the parents is important. It's critical, but it's also important to be able to reach out to people who we know, to the faculty members, to give a little. And because a little goes a long way. There are 2,000 teachers in the city of New Haven, and I don't know how many administrators. If we can get them on board for a small amount of money, we're talking about, hundreds of $1,000s that will help these kids to be able to finish, because a lot of them don't, and it's financial. Even though we give them money, a lot of them still can't afford it.
Now, Jeff, if you could talk a little bit about the name scholarship, what does that entail?
Well, there's multiple levels. A name scholarship is a scholarship that's for $1,000, where the person who donates that $1,000 gets to name, someone a memorial for someone, their family, a friend that they know. And so when we have our award ceremony, what we do is we provide them with a name scholarship and a contact for them so that they can reach out and thank them personally. And we invite the people who give name scholarships to come to our award ceremony. We didn't have one this year. We had a virtual one, which was okay, but never as powerful, as important as meeting those kids, meeting their parents, and having them be recognized in a public forum. The other thing is we also have a $10,000 endowed scholarship. And that means if you give $10,000, that we won't ask you again, although we might, is that it's in perpetuity. So in fact, for time immemorial, as long as we're in existence, that scholarship will be given to someone each year. And so there are people who do and can afford a $10,000 scholarship, but I'm looking for the smaller donations, but multiple. And that's, and hopefully that describes, the levels. And then there's also a Benevity scholarship, which is something you can leave in your will for to continue your giving. And when we look to people who are continuous givers to be able to provide something beyond their own existence, life.
So if you had to give her a dollar amount, the amount of scholarships given through the existence of the fund, what number would that be?
Oh, it's probably $11.5 million.
Wow. And that was to all New Haven students.
Only New Haven students, and
Yep.
Eli Whitney's included, but you have to be a resident of New Haven. You have to be accepted into college, and your parents' combined income's got to be less than $70,000.
And from what I understand, you gave 500,000 last year. Or this year?
We gave out $500,000 last year. Yep. It was the most that we've ever given out, and we've gotten some anonymous donations. Last year it was $100,000. Hello there, $100,000 donation. And the other one, and we just got one from a couple who passed away in Florida, who I have no idea who they are. They're called the Chamberlains, George and Anna Chamberlain, and they gave. He was very successful in business, and I still haven't found the connection to New Haven, but they gave $250,000. And so every once in a while, somebody finds out about who we are and is willing to go that route. Well, I mean, who's there.
Those numbers are phenomenal. I mean, the gifts, it pretty much speaks for itself about what the organization is doing, and I applaud you for that. That's some great work, to say the least.
Makes me feel good. That's why I do it.
Yeah. I just want to welcome. I see we have Miss Brittany here. Hello, Brittany.
Hello. How are you?
All right. How you doing?
Great. Thanks.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate you showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, Brittany.
Can I just interrupt for a second? I want to introduce her to the new principal of the Sound School.
Oh, okay.
That's Mark Patotsky, and he is a great guy. And at some point in time, when you come back to New Haven, we'll go and we'll visit with him.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Brittany.
Nice to meet you too. I've heard a lot about you. Good things.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully good. I pay folks like Jeff to say those things. So thank you, Jeff, for those kind words. I appreciate it.
No, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So again, good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Brittany. I am a graduate of the Sound School of 2004. I graduated with my undergraduate from University of South Florida 2008, and now a behavior analyst, and in my master's degree. The scholarship would help me there, and amazing research.
Wow, that's wonderful. Congratulations. So how's your experience been in South Florida?
I love it. I never come
Yeah.
home.
Never come. You better come home.
Like once
So
a
the
year
what?
during
Yeah.
like warmth.
Yeah,
Yeah, when it's warm.
really
Yeah.
warm.
Exactly.
But that's phenomenal. So how many years did you receive the New Haven Scholarship Fund? Was it just a one-time thing, or you received the scholarship in continuous years?
Continuous years.
Wow.
I believe 3 during my undergrad.
Wow. And how were you able to do that? What did you have to do to other than apply?
I just had to reapply and continue to show like I was working, and this is something that was motivating me. I needed the help. I definitely did during that time. I moved down to Florida by myself and kind of wung it, and I'm glad I did. But it was definitely an amazing resource and able to help me.
Wow. So another question we just had one of the other students, but since you're not thinking about coming back, we were looking for some young folks to join the board, the New Haven Scholarship Fund board.
You could join virtually.
I would love
There
that.
you go. There you go. Then you get to see Jeff more often.
I would love that.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. So how'd you hear about the scholarship?
Jeff, actually. He was one of my teachers when I was at the Sound, and actually was an amazing person in my life and motivated me to education and actually even graduate from high school. So
Come to high school, you mean?
exactly. So, and really made me grateful of the resources that Sound provided, because at that age, it's not always seen as something that as amazing as it is. And as many times as I go back, I continue to realize that, and the experiences that they give us is nothing that is offered anywhere else. But again, during that time, you don't realize that as much. So Jeff was definitely able to show me and continue to guide me in making amazing decisions, including my senior year, going to Bermuda and all the other amazing things to push me off into college and prepare me well, and continue to go back to school to get my master's degree now.
Wow. So
it.
what would you say was one of your best experiences at Sound School?
I would say breeding lobsters. That was my senior capstone project, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. During that time, it was a lot of work. Again, it was not quite the most beneficial experience when I was there. Kind of hated going into the lab sometimes, but by the end, you really were grateful. And again, once you go off into the real world, realize how, again, amazing those are. And I wish I can go to the lab every day, take care of my lobsters.
Anytime you come back. Anytime you come back. The other thing is that
You're more than welcome, Brittany.
Thank you so much.
For a girl who had a tough time coming to school in her sophomore year, it's kind of interesting that you're going to go on and get a master's degree. I applaud you. You know, the growth that I've seen in you is phenomenal.
So Brittany, would you say that the mentorship and your relationships with your teachers and everyone else played a major part in your success?
Absolutely. I would definitely not be in college or anywhere near what I am, including a behavior analyst, if it wasn't for the Sound School and the people continued to push me when I didn't want to be.
And if you may, can you just elaborate a little bit on behavior analyst and what that entails?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was really a focus around autism. I have a lot of experience in-home, clinic, in school, helping kids with severe problem behaviors that impede on their daily living skills. So help decrease the maladaptive behaviors and increase acquisition skills, which is whatever the child needs. Some kids, it's learning to talk. Some kids, teaching them how to use the bathroom or communicating, whatever it kind of is. But now in my master's degree, I'm actually in the juvenile justice department and work with youth in residential and detention centers. So it's a little different, but the same, you know, a lot of behaviors, a lot of extreme behaviors, but it's different working with a population that's a little bit more comprehensive to what you're doing. And, you know, you can really explain how procedures and tools can help you in your.
Wow, that's
Hey, can I ask a question?
sure, Kev.
Yep.
Brittany, is it right? Are you a board certified behavior analyst?
I am a board certified assistant behavior analyst right now, and as soon as I get my master's degree, I will be.
So Jeff, I'm gonna help you out here. If you come back to New Haven, I guarantee between Mark and I, we guarantee you a job working in either New Haven Public Schools or ACES.
Kevin, you read my mind. So my wife's a BCBA. And
Oh,
if you-
really? That's
And
amazing.
if I was gonna say, if you can stand the cold, get back up here.
I have to reach out.
Guaranteed work.
Thank
Wow.
you so much. That's amazing.
See, that's amazing. See,
Good
networking.
offer. Good offer.
Wow.
The thing is, I am so impressed with how much you've grown, and how you articulate your job, and you're so impressive. I'm overwhelmed in some ways.
That's me.
So Jeff, as an educator, as a mentor, as a person that played a major part in Brittany's life, it must make you feel really, really great.
Almost to tears, I got to tell you.
Wow, that's amazing. And see, then, like I said, we always hear about, you know, some of the negative things. And here we have a phenomenal success story, Miss Brittany, and the work that she's doing. You talk about, you know, the life's challenges going through this pandemic, being a student, and being able to accomplish what you accomplished during this pandemic is challenging, to say the least. And to choose a career path that you know, that deals with humanity and really taking care of folks and really caring about folks says a lot about you and what you've experienced through your schooling. And again, congratulations and thank you for that.
Air hug. Air hug.
I want to help other people, and that's really why I do my job, and I really love this.
Wow.
Thank you, Brittany.
Well, you definitely have to stay in touch with us, and I'm sure and you heard what Kevin said.
Definitely.
Your opportunity to
You've been offered a job.
you could start in the summer months.
Sounds good.
But that's what it's all about. It's about networking and meeting people and continuing to embrace our communities. And that's great. Phenomenal work. We have about 10 minutes left. So would well, first, do you have any closing remarks, Brittany? Or
No, thank you so much. This is
well, thank you.
You have a great day. Thank you so much. Thank
no
you.
problem.
Bye.
Okay. So we have 5 minutes. So I'm going to give everyone on the line to say their closing remarks.
Okay. I guess I'll start. I want to thank everybody who participated, Mark, Renee, Brittany, Kevin, and Michelle. It was wonderful to have you guys aboard and to talk about in such positive ways the work that we do and the work that we'll continue to do, because it makes a difference. And part of my life goal was to make a difference. And this is allowing me to do that in very significant ways. And so for everybody who joined this, this conversation, I thank you from the deepest part of my heart. This show is really more than I expected it to be, and I appreciate it a lot.
Well, thank you again. Thank you, Jeff, for your work, and thank you for bringing me on board the New Haven Scholarship Fund. Thanks again. Mark.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for what you do on behalf of our students of New Haven. And for all of you listening out there, please take advantage of this. It's an amazing opportunity for our students. You know, as many have said, this is sometimes what gets the kid over the hump, be able to go on to that secondary education. And moving forward, you just let me know what I could do to be of assistance, whether it's a liaison or financially supporting, which I've done in the past. I'm here to help in any way I can.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Ms. Evans?
I'm just going to share that the organization is wonderful, great people, working toward a goal of children having an opportunity to have a better life. And I really like the idea about the parent informational session that was stated. And that's something that really needs to be implemented. And I do believe doing that will draw more children into having access to this opportunity.
Wow, thank you. And Kevin?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve, and just hearing the student stories, and it just kind of motivates me more, and I'm looking forward to meeting in person, and also now having an understanding of what my role would be as a board, a better understanding of what my role as a board member. It gives me some guidance in how I need to kind of get out there and just kind of get people interested in the scholarship fund, raise awareness, but also the bottom line is get people to open up their purses and to support our phenomenal young people. I think, Jeff, I think you made the point too. A lot of times we focus on getting kids to college, but we know, especially our students of color, the struggle is finishing. And so, this kind of helps with equity, but also that continue. And I think it's important to iterate the continuous scholarships, where a lot of times you might get a one-time gift, but for us to be able to give it 3-4 years, students should know that, and that's going to go a long way. So I'm excited about this upcoming year.
Wow.
Well said,
So
Kevin.
Gary,
Well
so
said.
thanks for bringing me on the board, Gary.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I know you had the ability to tap into a lot of these young folks, and that's what we need. We need those tentacles so we can reach out.
Yes, sir.
And get these young, to make these life-changing moments for some of our youth.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you. I think we probably
Brittany might have a closing statement.
Okay.
And thank you to the New Haven Scholarship Fund and all of these amazing people that continue to help these kids that, again, like you said, just need to finish. I think that is a huge part of it, is like getting to college is one obstacle, but finishing is a whole different story. And these people have motivated me to go, not just financially, but emotionally. So again, thank you to everyone that continues that and help others.
Wow. Sounds like we have someone that can come into the school and be a motivational speaker. Huh?
That's right.
If I can just say one last thing, the purpose of the scholarship initially was to get kids started. I think that the new motto for the New Haven Scholarship Fund should be get you to and through.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
I think that's where we're going.
Good. I don't know. You come up with some stuff, Jeff. That's
right.
Every once in a while, the muse hits me. Every once in a while.
All right. Well, again, thanks everyone, and I look forward to working with you. And
Thank you so much, everybody.
See you later.
I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going. Better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you
103.5 FM New Haven.
and I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains, haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road. Let's camera action, I'm ready to go. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Yeah, this is my road. Let's camera action, I'm ready to go. Way too long we face face them storms. Now you gon' face the dawn you waited for. I said from night to dawn, I right my wrongs alone. In competition with warnings, ice galore. Now I'm running toward it, my life to finish being a quitter. But little by little, they joking, telling some riddles. Now I'm in my section, ain't willing to give up. Know you getting knocked down, but you gotta get up. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, hey. Cause this is my road. Lights, camera, action, already.